very good morning and Jai Hind to one and all present. Welcome back to Samvad, the podcast where stories come alive from the very corridors we walk in. Today we have with us someone truly special, a Sunbeam alumnus who has dedicated her life to bringing hope and healing to countless families. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Dr. Apurva Pandey, who is a medical professionalist with a background in radiation oncology and a dedicated focus on palliative medicine, particularly in oncology care. With a strong commitment to compassionate, patient-centered care, she brings clinical expertise and human connection to every conversation. A mother of two, she beautifully balances her medical career with a love for music, travel, and family life. It is a true honor to welcome you back to Sunbeam, ma'am. We are very excited to hear about your journey from our classrooms to where you are today.
Thank you so much.
So now, ma'am, before we dive into your work in oncology and palliative care, let's rewind to the days when you walked through the same corridors we do today. Was there any particular teacher, event, or a small moment during your time at Sunbeam Varuna that planted the seeds of compassion or curiosity in you, which you still feel inspires your approach as a doctor today?
Definitely. I think before joining Sunbeam, I was not that confident, and I did not know that what qualities I have in me. But when I joined Sunbeam was just started, Sunbeam Varna was just started, and I joined, and I still remember the first day of my entrance test and joining the class. And all the teachers and all the students were new to me, and soon they became my friends. And the teachers were so supportive, right from the Deepak sir, Bharti ma'am, to our principal. I would like to thank all the teachers till today. They are in touch. Today when I came, I met someone who I think I met after like 15 to 20 years, but he knew my name. So that was something which really made me feel special, that the teachers in Sunbeam, they still remember you when you come back after 10 to 15 years. So that is rewarding. So I think Sunbeam has made me disciplined, it has made me dedicated, it has encouraged me to pursue what I want to be. So that's all the memories I've gathered here.
Absolutely, ma'am. That is such a beautiful memory. It's amazing how these moments in school continue to shape what we become in future. Ma'am, we know that becoming a doctor is a path filled with late-night study sessions, sacrifices, and intense learning. But choosing to specialize in oncology and palliative medicine requires a unique strength of spirit. Could you share with us what led you to choose this specific path of radiation oncology and palliative care, and how that decision felt at that time? Also, could you walk us through what a typical day looks like for you at work, balancing clinical responsibilities while ensuring each patient feels like he is truly heard and seen?
Being a female, I was clear that I did not want any surgical branch. So I thought that I will join some branch with medicine base in it. So when I was studying, I didn't know that. I didn't knew at that point of time that I will join a branch in oncology. But when I qualified NEET and when I started choosing my branches, I don't know what something stuck in me that no, I have to join oncology. Let's explore oncology. So still oncology has very limited, fields in it right now. They have, if you want to go to medical oncology, then you have to first do medicine and then go to medical oncology, which is now a super specializing branch. If you want to do radiation oncology, you can directly join. So I did not wanted to waste my time, and I wanted to join something in oncology without knowing that what the branch actually looks like. But when I joined radiation oncology, I started having respect for all those doctors working in oncology, because we in our department used to do everything. When you these days, I think they should include radiation especially in the curriculum of MBBS, which is not there. Okay. So that is why even the MBBS students, they do not know about radiation oncology. So when we started working in radiation oncology, you see the oncology patient as a whole, and that respect for the doctors came inside me. And my day is very busy now. After I came back to Varanasi, I did my SRship here, and I came back to Varanasi, and I started working with Tata Cancer Hospital here. So I did a fellowship in palliative medicine because I wanted to, help patients in their end phase of life. This is something which is in everyone's mind, that palliative care is in the end of life care. It is the end of life care, but it is actually not. You start palliative care right from the day when the patient is being diagnosed as cancer patient. So early palliative care is as most important as is end of life care patient care. So my day here is really busy. We have 2 hospitals here which I'm working in. So both the hospitals we have to go take rounds, see the patient, admit them. They have so many complications because they are undergoing chemo, they are undergoing radiation oncology. So all the side effects and complications are there, and these patients are not getting the right treatment outside. So the whole day is I'm 35. I've done my senior residency, but still my whole day is just running here and there for the patient's life. And sometimes that guilt come inside me. That guilt is there that I do not get enough time to give it to my kids or to my husband or to my personal life or to my own self. So that outburst may come when you are working in such a situation which is 24/7. Busy, where you are on duty, on call all the time. So the day someone becomes a doctor, that day you should know that it may happen that you don't have a personal life. Your life starts with your patient, your life ends with your patient. So that's my day.
Exactly, ma'am. That is so inspiring. The way you balance medical precision with human connection is in your days shows how healthcare is not just about treatment, but also about caring for others. Hearing about the demands of your daily routine and emotional weight of working with patients and families, going through some of the toughest times in their lives, it makes me curious about the human side of medicine. On days when it feels heavy, what keeps you grounded and motivated to continue serving your patients with compassion while also balancing your role as a mother and your love for music, travel, and family life?
I have tried to always keep my professional life different from my personal life. So when I am in hospital, I usually connect with my patients very easily. That's one quality I think which my colleagues, my seniors, everyone know, and they appreciate it, that you connect with the patients very easily. So I would like to share one episode when I was doing my residency. At that time, one day my HOD called me in his chamber. And I was so surprised, when your HOD calls you, then you are like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? So I have not done anything. I was so sad, and I was so surprised that he has called me for something. So I went, and he said that he was very senior to me. He was like my father figure to me. So he said that, I want to hug you. So I said, why, sir? What happened? So he said that there was a patient who was with us, and she was with us for like 15 days in the ward. And during her treatment was all ongoing. All medications were ongoing, but I daily used to go, and usually doctors go and ask, how are you doing? They check the labs, they check everything, and the treatment changes. But I used to go talk to her husband. I used to talk to them about their kids, about their family. And so they were very emotionally connected to me. And when she died, her husband came, and he actually told my HOD that you have a beautiful, lovely daughter here who is a doctor. So that's why my HOD was very emotional, and he said that this quality doesn't comes with your job. This quality is not present in everyone, and this quality is in you. So my day starts with my patient, and I think that my patients, they themselves keep me motivated to work hard. I see death every day. Sometimes there are 2 or 3 patients dying in front of me, and obviously it breaks me down. It breaks my staff down. So after that moment, after 30 seconds, when I complete making their certificates, then I again push myself to do something better for my next patient. And that is what encourages me and motivates me to work hard every day. And as soon as I come home, I just see my kid, I see them, I see their smiling faces, and my life rolls on like anything. So everything changes. So you should always keep your professional life different with your personal life. Otherwise, you will yourself have an emotional outburst, which you will never be able to come out. So that is why this is very important, to keep both the lives different and work hard in both. That is what I do.
Absolutely. That is so reassuring, ma'am. Talking about cancer, to clarify to the audience, oncology is all about cancer. Cancer is a word that brings fear to many of us. Often because of the stories we hear in society, the media, or even from relatives. And as students, we often have limited understanding of what that truly is. Since you have been working so closely with patients and families in oncology, could you share with us some common myths or misconceptions that you encounter about cancer, its treatment and recovery, and what you wish young people would know about this disease and hope that modern medicine brings?
So there are a lot of questions, when someone, even the people who are not well educated, they do not know anything about cancer. So they come and ask me, why did this happen to us? What's wrong? Why did this happen to us? So there are many cancers. We should know that they have genetic causes, they have environmental causes, they have lifestyle changes. So there are so many causes of cancer. But what we should really understand is now when, if I talk about 20 to 30 years back, there was not much treatment of anything, any cancer. But now, the breast cancer, cervix cancer, these are almost curable. So now we should learn with this that eventually there'll be complete treatment and resolving features of cancer in most of the cases. What we need to understand firstly is right education, right knowledge about it.
Awareness.
Yeah, awareness is very important. We were never aware of the factors causing cancer or what should we do to prevent cancer. So right from the school days, it should be taught that what vaccinations you have to take to prevent cancer. If you have a family history of cancer, how do you prevent it? How do you take precautions? How do you teach everyone to do clinical self-breast examinations or go for their regular checkups to the doctors for pap smears? So not only for females, but for males too, it is very important. So awareness is one thing which is very important, which we are doing. There are other departments like preventive oncology who do awareness things at different hospitals. They go, they teach, they ask you questions if you have family history or not, and then they tell you what all tests are to be done.
What preventive measures you have to take.
So like we used to, question about diabetes and hypertension, that do I have hypertension? Do I have diabetes? My father had diabetes. Do I have diabetes? So like that, now we have to prevent ourselves for being a cancerous patient, and if it is there and detected early, it is treatable, it is curative, you can cure it with the treatment. So you should not neglect even a simple small symptom. You should definitely visit your doctor.
That was very informative, ma'am. Thank you for explaining so clearly. At Sunbeam, many students dream of becoming doctors, scientists, and healthcare workers who can contribute meaningfully to society. But often the journey feels intimidating, and the fear of failure or pressure to be perfect can become overwhelming. Having walked this path yourself, what message or advice would you like to give to young Sunbeams listening to Sanvad today who aspire to serve society, especially in healthcare, while also living a balanced and fulfilling personal life?
I think these days no one needs any gyan. But still, if you are desiring to become a healthcare professional, you should be dedicated, you should be disciplined, and you should not think that just 5 years and my studies will be done and I'll become a doctor and everyone will come to me. Yeah, sab khatam. No, it doesn't happen that way. My father has spent his more than 30 years in this profession, and still today, when I go home to have tea with him, to have a break, I see that he is watching physics wallah. He's watching videos to learn and to clear his doubts and basics, because as we grow we definitely forget our basics. So you should know that every day is a new learning, and eventually for your lifetime you will learn. With every patient you will learn something, with every day you will learn something, and that is very important. So you should be hardworking, you should be disciplined, you should be dedicated. That's all you need to be.
That is a very valuable point, ma'am. Learning goes on forever. Thank you so much, ma'am, for taking out time for us, for speaking to us here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, listeners. And with this, signing off, this is Rudransh Pratap Singh signing off from Samvad.
Thank you.
Meet you again.